cooking with Noe. We are actually going to be baking with Noe, and I am making oatmeal applesauce muffins. So this is actually a really healthy recipe, and they can be frozen or refrigerated, so they stay fresh longer, but you can freeze them, pop them out, you can warm them up, or you can stick them in your bag and get ready to go for work or school. And it's a pretty healthy recipe. So you are going to need, for this recipe, and we'll list all the ingredients, but you'll need 1 cup of oats, 1 cup of unsweetened applesauce. So I have the unsweetened applesauce here. I already have it measured out. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of milk. Because I'm dairy free, I'm using almond milk. You're also gonna need 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, so vanilla extract, 4 tablespoons of coconut oil melted. So I have my oil melted. You can also use butter, but coconut oil is the route for dairy free. 1/3 cup sugar, 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour. So I am using Bob's Red Mill whole wheat stone ground flour. I suppose you could probably use regular flour too. A teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of cranberries and or raisins, and that is totally optional. If you don't like either one of those two, you don't need to throw them in. I don't know what this would be like. I mean, you use applesauce, so I suppose you could use maybe like chopped apples. You could probably throw in some nuts if you like nuts, but we're gonna make oatmeal applesauce muffins today. Okay, so for the first thing you want to do is you want to combine in like a smaller bowl, basically like your wet ingredients. So you're going to add your applesauce, and again, like I just buy the store brand. So this is Kroger brand, unsweetened. And this is great because it can be used in a lot of different recipes, so that's nice. And then you need 1 cup of oats. Again, this is the oats that I'm using. Measure this out. Alright, there's my oats. Scrape it out here. So this is just going to be our breakfast today, but this would be a good snack. Like I said, you can stick it in lunches, you can use it for breakfasts. It's great. Then I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of milk. Again, you can use regular milk. I'm using almond milk. I suppose you could use coconut milk, soy milk, any one of those. I need to get my egg. Crack my egg. Also, you want to, while you're doing this, I already have my oven on. So you want to have your oven on 375 to preheat. I also have my muffin tray ready with my liners and everything. And so we got egg. I need to add my teaspoon of vanilla. Again, this is, I use pure vanilla extract. They have artificial or imitation, but I prefer the real deal. And a 1/3 cup of sugar, so I need my 1/3 cup measuring. There we go. So 1/3 cup of sugar. And then I need my coconut oil. So again, I melted this, and you need 4 tablespoons of melted oil and or butter. 3 and 4. Alright, we are ready ready to go with that. And this just gets mixed up so you can see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna mix all this up here. Get it nice and combined. Enough to get that egg mixed in too. Okay, so there you go. There's the mixture. I can really smell the vanilla extract, and that smells great. Okay, so then in another bowl, you're gonna do 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour. So I have my 1/4 cup here. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And just, this is what the flour, what the whole wheat flour looks like. So you can tell that it's not your normal bleached all-purpose flour. Okay, so there's my flour. I need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So I have my, I buy the baking soda in like the really large box because I use it for cleaning. I use it for so many different things, so I buy like the really big box. And then for baking, I just put it in a little glass dish so that I always have some. So a 1/2 teaspoon. I did 2 because this is a 1/4 teaspoon. So, and then I need a teaspoon of cinnamon. And because I used my teaspoon already for vanilla, I'll just use my 1/4 teaspoon. So I'll just do 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Yay, cinnamon. And then a 1/4 teaspoon salt. I just kind of, we'll just shake it in there. And then my cranberries. So 1/2 cup. This is my 1/4 cup, and that was a little over a scoop. So we'll just add a few more in there. Okay, so those are my dry ingredients that I have. I'm gonna chop up my cranberries because they're kind of stuck together. You can also double this recipe if you want. If you want to make enough to like have when they're done and then have to freeze for the week, you can certainly double the recipe as well. So I've got all of those ingredients kind of whisked together, and now I'm going to just kind of make a little hole in the middle and then pour the applesauce mixture in. So this is the oats. This was all of our wet ingredients. Make sure to scrape and get it all in there. Okay, and we're good there. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And so this is what it looks like when you pour it in, and you just want to mix and get it combined. You don't want to over mix because then the batter will be dry, but you do definitely want to make sure you get it combined. So these are looking really, really good. Okay, so I can see that I still have some flour, some dry parts. Like I said, you don't want to over mix it because that won't be good. They'll just come out really chewy and kind of dry. And I'm going to scrape that. Okay. And I'm just going to use my 1/4 cup scoop here to help me fill my cups. So there's 1, and this should make about 12. It's 2, 3, 4. I feel like, not Count Dracula, but what's the count? I don't know. I feel like the little guy on Sesame Street. Oh no! See, we have a muffin disaster, but it will be okay because it will just be okay. Okay, so this one just won't be in a paper, but that's all right. And then fill the rest of them. You want to make sure that you divide it up because it looks like I'm going to be a little low, but I can always share from the other muffin cups. It's hard to judge when you're filling these two. Alright, so then you want to scrape out the rest of your bowl to get all of that goodness. And I'm going to fill this one here with that. Oh, we did just about perfect. Maybe I'm just going to leave it. That one will just be a smaller one and we'll be fine. Alright, so these will be popped into the oven. My oven is already preheated. This is what they look like before the oven. And they're going to bake for about 15 minutes or so. You want to keep an eye on them. You'll know when they're ready when you stick a toothpick in one of them and it comes out clean. So these will be pretty dense, but about 15 minutes, so keep an eye on them, set a timer or whatever you need to do. And I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. Okay, so I just pulled the oatmeal applesauce muffins out of the oven, and I still have my little lobster mitt on because it is really hot. But this is what they look like when they bake up. So you can see the oats, you can see the cranberries in there, I think you can. They smell really good. They smell oaty. They smell like cinnamon. It's too hot for me to try it right now, but I know that it will be delicious. So hopefully you found this recipe helpful. It's a nice healthy recipe for breakfast, snacks, lunches, whatever, whenever you want them. A nice little sweet treat. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, share your comments if you want, share my video, and I'll see you again next time I'm in the kitchen. Bye guys! Hi guys, it's Noe. I am back in the kitchen and I am baking again. So this time I am going to be baking carrot applesauce muffins, which basically they're kind of like carrot cake. But they're healthy. So I love this recipe. Everybody loves this recipe. They can be eaten fresh from the oven, or you can freeze them and have them around. You can certainly double the recipe too, so if you want to have some to enjoy now and some to enjoy later. So this is what we're going to do today. Alright, so let's get started. For this you are going to need whole wheat flour. Again, I use Bob's Red Mill 100% stone ground whole wheat flour. I think you could probably use regular flour too, but the whole wheat flour definitely gives you more added health benefits, and I think it might cook up a little bit different. So you're going to need the whole wheat flour. You're going to need baking soda, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. So I actually don't have nutmeg, but I usually use allspice anyway, and it just kind of adds to the flavor profile. And then salt. You're also going to need melted coconut oil or butter. Since we're dairy free, I am using melted coconut oil. half a cup of honey, an egg beaten lightly, vanilla extract, and a cup of applesauce. And then you also need your shredded carrots to make it carrot applesauce muffins. Okay, so to start, you're going to combine your dry ingredients first. So you need a cup and a half of whole wheat flour. So there's a cup, and I have my quarter cup here. So there's a quarter, and there's a half. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm gonna put this away now. All right, so I've got my flour. I need a teaspoon of baking soda. So, like I mentioned in another one of my videos, I usually buy the really big bag or the big box of baking soda because I use it for so many other purposes around the house. And I just make sure to keep a little dish filled with baking soda for baking purposes. So here's my teaspoon of baking soda. And then I need a teaspoon of cinnamon. So my cinnamon is right here. Need a teaspoon of that. I'm going to add that in. Then I need a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg and ginger. So like I said, I use allspice. And just take the lid off of that. And add that in. I like allspice as a spice because you can use it in baking, but you can also use it for savory dishes like meats and stuff. And then I need my quarter teaspoon of ground ginger. And that just smells so good. These muffins do smell really good, and it'll make your house smell great too. And then I have my cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and my salt. So I'm just gonna kind of alright, that's about a half a teaspoon. I never really measure my salt when I'm baking because I feel like it's not really always that necessary in baking, but I use it anyway. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of mix that together. Again, those are all the dry ingredients. Yeah, it smells nice. Very aromatic. Okay, so set that aside, and then I need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. So I have my coconut oil here. And there is 1 tablespoon. And there is 2 tablespoons. And I need a half a cup of honey. So here's my half a cup of honey that I've already measured out. This is a nice, rich, thick honey. I think it's the organic honey we got from Costco. Yeah, so there's the honey. 1 egg. Alright, there's that, and then it says to beat it lightly, so before you mix it in with everything, I just kind of chop up the yolk. That's my beating it lightly. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. I think this might be all I've got another one, so I'm going to add in just a little smidgen more. And I like to use, you can use imitation, but I like to use pure vanilla because the flavor is just that much better. It's a little more expensive, I guess, but I like using pure. but I still buy store brand. And then I need a cup of applesauce. So unsweetened applesauce, I suppose you could use like sweetened or cinnamon, but using the unsweetened applesauce adds to the healthiness of it. So I have my unsweetened jar here, measure out a cup, and we're going to mix that in. Okay. Then I'm going to mix this together. This is kind of what it's looking like right now. Yep, I can smell the vanilla. Alright, that looks nice and mixed. So now I'm going to take my dry ingredients bowl that I have over here, and I'm going to just kind of hollow out a spot in the middle, if you can see that. Let me shift that over, yeah. And then I'm going to pour the wet into the dry. Oh, and also, while I've been doing this, my oven has been preheating to 350. So you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Okay, so that's in there. And now I'm going to mix this and combine. Okay, and so when it starts to look like this, that you still have some dry but mostly wet, you want to add the carrot. So this was actually just 1 carrot that I did, and you want to shred it. Finely shred. This is probably bigger than finely shred, but it'll be fine. So you need about 3/4 cups of carrots, and like I said, it only took me 1 carrot, and I'll show you. I used a carrot about this size. Actually, it was probably smaller than that, but anyway, so you can see for reference. And this is like maybe 1 foot long. So the one I used was probably like maybe 8 to 9 inches. All right, so I'm gonna add the carrots now and finish combining. And you just kind of want to fold the carrots into it. With this, because you're essentially making carrot cake muffins, you could also add raisins, or you could add nuts if you wanted to. That's totally your preference. And alright, so we've got those folded in, and now I'm going to fill my cup. So I have my muffin tray filled with my liners. This is what the mix looks like once everything's folded in, and I'm going to fill my cups. This batter is pretty thick. You're going to bake these for about 15 to 20 minutes, and keep an eye on them because ovens vary. But if you stick a toothpick in them and they come out clean, then you know you are good to go. So like I said, you can enjoy these fresh from the oven, or you can freeze them to enjoy later. Alright, and then I'm going to scrape out the rest of this. Okay. And then scrape the bowl. I will fill this one. And then I have just a little bit left, so I'm just going to add to one of my early ones that didn't have very much. Alright, so I'm going to pop these in the oven and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. So this is what they look like once I fill them, and they'll go into the oven now. Alright, once they're done, I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so the carrot muffins are done and they're out of the oven, and this is what they look like. You can see the carrot pieces and everything. They smell amazing. Like, it smells like a Yankee candle almost. So anyway, these are delicious. Hopefully you'll make these. If you liked my video, give me a thumbs up, share my video if you'd like, and let me know if you make these. Also, I'm always open to ideas if you're looking for things that you'd like me to make for you on video. So have a great day. Until next time, bye guys.